A Strat type guitar for $100. Welcome back to the mix. This month we're going to be doing a number of videos on S-type guitars or Strat type guitars. There's an Ibanez example, and today we're going to do the Monoprice Indio, which is the cheapest of the ones that we're reviewing throughout the month. So let's get to it, shall we? Today we're checking out the Indio Strat type guitar from Monoprice, and this is a $100 guitar, so it's super affordable. But right out of the box, we have some fret buzz. So what I'm going to do is give the truss rod a tightening and see if that helps. Then we can talk about some specs of the guitar and what I like and don't like. Yeah, and this comes with incredibly cheap strings, the kind that mess up your hand. So I gave it some relief and that seemed to help a little bit, but so far not so great. I'm going to tune up the rest of it now again. Oh boy, oh boy. And then the trem system is decked completely, even with the strings at full tension. It's decked. It has the 6 screws, so it's a vintage type. And some more specs about it. It has a basswood body, which is not the best tone wood. Some people like it a lot. Music Man puts it on really expensive guitars. I'm not a huge fan of how it sounds. It sounds kind of hollow. There's not that much low end. It has a maple neck with a satin finish on the back, which feels pretty thick. Not super great. The edges of the frets are decent. They're a little sharp, but they're not bad. But the actual fret faces are pretty gritty feeling. It has what looks like a slightly roasted maple fretboard and then a light maple neck. And so there's a variation in the color, which I don't really love. Usually if there's a variation in the color, it's from maple to rosewood, but when it's from maple to maple, I don't love it. The fretboard like hangs over the edge a lot there, and that doesn't look super great. It's not cut that well. There's like a bunch of glue, and the pickguard is like flaking up over there. It has ceramic pickups, it has white hardware. The pots feel okay. The switch feels super cheap. It feels super cheap and not good at all. It just doesn't feel good. Like, it feels like tight. It's not loose, but it doesn't feel good. The nut looks like it's cut decently well, but it is not installed that well. There's a big gap on underneath it, and it's poking out on both sides, so it wasn't sanded down. And the frets are kind of sticking up on the edge a little bit. Like, they're not super sharp, but there's like a gap between them. And yeah, the relief in the setup from the factory were not very good. There's a lot of fret buzz even when I gave it some relief. And I think it's because these frets on the end here are kind of sticking up, and that's affecting the E string, the low E. Acoustically, it's not terrible, the basswood, but the finish is slightly transparent. And it's a 3-piece body, and you can see there's like a seam, really big, ugly seam, where like paint finish like piled up in there, and I don't really love that. It has the thick neck plate that some people do now with like the plastic little thing it sits in, so it's not actually metal on the wood. There's like a buffer between it. The plastic on the back cover, it doesn't look bad, it doesn't feel bad, but it kind of looks like cheap plastic. It's cut super cheaply over here. And you know, the craftsmanship on the neck, like the back of it, is not terrible. The tuning machines don't seem that bad. Like, they seem to stay in tune pretty decent. I haven't even put the whammy on it, but we can plug it into a tube amp to see what kind of tones we can get from these ceramic pickups. So we're plugged into a Friedman Runt 20 tube amp into a V30 speaker. Those pickups are not bad. Sliding down that fretboard did not feel good. And we're out of tune again, so let's tune it up. So we're getting that bending from the nut where the nut's a little too high, so we're getting a... If we put like a normal amount of pressure down when we play like an open D, we get bending on the G. So you have to press really lightly to avoid that happening. So you can kind of fix it yourself in the way you play. You can obviously file that nut. You can replace the nut. Yeah, that low E buzz is not great. Yeah, they're good sounding pickups, but decent sounding ceramic pickups are not that hard to do these days for a whole lot of money. Try it with the tube screamer. Let's try that fourth position. And the noise canceling, it's not bad. Let's try it with overdrive heavy metal. Yeah, those are not bad pickups. Yeah, nice sustain, really nicely saturated pickups. There's enough punch in there and definition to work with. If we go to the, let's turn off the distortion and turn up the clean. Let's go to the bridge pickup. With a compressor. And back to the neck. Is there no tone for the bridge? No tone for the bridge? What does this tone do? What does the second tone do? We turn this up. Oh. No tone for the bridge. Cool. We try with a rat type distortion. So honestly, I'm surprised. I think if I give it some time to adjust with the truss rod, I think the relief might be a lot better. I feel like you could probably do a quick leveling on it. It would make a huge difference. The nut is actually not that bad. I feel like you could just cut it and sand it on the sides and it would be much better. You could definitely just replace it. But the pickups sound really good. It feels decent to play. And the fretboard, because I think it's slightly roasted, it's definitely not super smooth. Playing it feels decent. I honestly can't tell you that it's terrible. It's pretty good. So what we can do next is plug it in DI into an interface and do a little jam thingy and see how it sounds there. And then we'll wrap it up. Thank you very much. So, final thoughts. I'm pretty impressed with it for basically a $100 guitar. The ceramic pickups sound good. Um, the whammy's okay. I do like vintage style trim, so it is nice to have that. I wish with the tone you could adjust the bridge pickup. Is there no tone for the bridge? No tone for the bridge? But overall, I think it gets a pass. If you are on a strict budget and you only have $100 to spend on a Strat, you could definitely do much worse. But what do you think? Leave a comment below. Like, subscribe. I really would appreciate it. I have more videos coming in the future. But until then, take care and play guitar. In Indio from... Well, I gave it a good fucking turn.